இல்லைன்னா புஷ்பம் போடணும்.
प्रसादात् मुकोऽपि वावतोकोऽभिजायते भाष्यभावज्ञ विख्यातः सद्गुरुं प्रणमाम्यहम् पंडितानां च राजानं शास्त्रे रत्नाकरो मम बालपूर्वं गुरुं वन्दे सुब्रह्मण्याभिधं मुदा श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति शांति शांतिः आप्यायन्तु मम अङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यां मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु निराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनिर्ते उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ओम शांति 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 ओम. Now we are seeing Kenopanishad. Upanishad itself becomes an not only important topic, the very fact that it is called Rahasya. Rahasya does not mean it is very secretive, very mystic, etc. Rahasya generally means it is one-to-one transmission. That is, the teacher has to learn. The student has to learn directly from the teacher, and no other medium around, no online teaching or no teaching from books, etc. There should be a direct contact with the teacher. And the importance is there is no set syllabus which is common to all the people, or which he can make it applicable to all the people, simultaneously transmitting it to the group of people. Group, in practical terms, transmission to group of people may be possible, may be taking place, but the importance is not transmission to the group of people. The importance is one-to-one individual transmission. The teacher has to individually concentrate on the teacher, finding his exact needs. Say the importance is, you can find if you are going through the messages of Sadhguru, then also you can know it. Say, what you are learning in Upanishad is not actually an information which you do not know, which is communicated to you anew, which you are learning it afresh. What you are learning is manifestation of your own self. What is there already in you, what you are already, we are not aware of our own self. This is what the essential idea is. We do not know what we are. We have got a different conception altogether. I am so and so, my name is this, I am son of so and so, I am what is called qualified, all these things. I am capable of doing these things, I have developed these abilities. Like that, we have got, say, we forget one thing, we are eternal. When we are eternal, then if I say my name is this name is given on a particular day. On a particular day, on a particular month, in a particular year, whatever may be your calendar, that particular day you take a name. That particular day, you don't take a name. You are given a name. That's why it is in the English has got a beautiful word. It's called given name. So given name is you are given a name, only that much. Not that given name in a different sense, you are given a name. So that name is given to us by somebody, and that person, that body is delivered by some set of people. So everything is ephemeral, everything connected with whatever we claim as our characteristic, our qualification is essentially ephemeral, essentially temporary. So how can it be we? We are eternal. So when we are eternal, Upanishad says, you being eternal, try to understand your real characteristic, what are you or what you are. You try to understand that. Don't associate with this ephemeral characteristic. The problem is, now we will not be able to give up this ephemeral characteristic. We are not able to. We have associated with ourselves with that too much, too closely, unable to give it up, not even be able to think. If those things are not there, we cannot even think of it. If you do not remember who you are, then what will happen? Immediately, you will be forcibly taken to a hospital, either in the different ward, the neurological ward or in the psychiatrical ward. Only we will end up in either of these two wards, nothing else. So, now without going there, without disturbing others, without disturbing our actual day-to-day life, not only our life, people around us, without disturbing anybody, how can we try to understand ourselves? So this is, first of all, the problem has to be recognized. That's the more important. We have a problem. I am eternal. First of all, we have to recognize. Unless I understand, I did not recognize myself eternal. Unless I understand there is some eternity in me, I have to work towards that eternity. Unless I try to understand what that eternity, we cannot proceed next step in philosophy and spirituality. The first step itself is recognition. That's why when you want to take up the studies of the Upanishad, they say qualification, adhikara. Adhikara means mental preparedness. I should be prepared to take it up further. For that, they say there are 4 characteristics. Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka, Ihamutrartha Palabhoga Viraga, Shamadhamadi Sadhana Sampati, Tivra Muksha. These 4 things should be there. What is Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka? See, because these are all Sanskrit words, we are not using Sanskrit in our day-to-day affair. That's why what happens? These all appear to be some new, difficult, philosophical, religious terms. Just now I said, we are eternal, but we have associated ourselves with or ephemeral characteristic. Now, if we have to proceed further into philosophy, we should be able to understand that eternity is there, that ephemeralness need not be there, it does not belong to us, something like that. So now what happens? Some eternity is there. First of all, we have to recognize. Some eternal characteristic is there. That recognition, unless we recognize, we will not be able to take one step forward. Say there are two things here. Studying philosophy. You can do philosophy, it is called doing philosophy, not even studying philosophy. You can do philosophy in the university for your further qualifications. For our PhD, for our degree, for our what is called writing books and things like that. Philosophy has got lots of uses. Philosophy is not only for us, philosophy is for society, philosophy is for all. Everything has got a philosophy. Now we have got a philosophy of language, philosophy of what is called society. Everything is a philosophy. There should be some underlying general characteristic, some underlying principle. How are we going to evolve, develop that underlying principle? How are we going to say this is the central principle on which this is to be decided? So philosophy will be there very well. Without philosophy, nothing can exist. That is something different. But when you want to do the philosophy of yourself, then when you want to do it for the sake of pure knowledge, that is something different. But when you want to say it for the practical purposes, that is then bringing knowledge into effect, bringing knowledge into our own life usage like that, then it is something different. In that case, first of all, there should be some recognition of Nitya Vastu Viveka. So when you get a Nitya Viveka means discrimination, a knowledge, differentiation between what is Nitya and what that is totally not. I am Nitya, so I should try to know me. I should try to recognize me. I should get back to myself. That sort of feeling we should develop, Nitya. So in order to develop that, if you have to take a step, then what you have to do? You should shun what is anitya, what is ephemeral, what is not required. If you are going to get attached to everything, then how can you go towards Nitya? So, at least if not all, at least most of the things, give up those things. We are getting aggressions. Say this is one thing. For example, we are living in a house and normally what happens? You have to shift house, change, and then if you have amassed so much of not wealth, so when you what is called go into other houses, that is when you want to shift the house, then what to take, what not to take, how to pack, all these things itself will become problem. So you get dust and cobwebs, and you get what is called insects. Things go on like that is we amass so many unnecessary trash, but the trash amasses itself like insects and the things. So all those things, now we will not be able to know how to what is called remove all those things. That itself will become problem. You can easily understand. That is how problematic it is. And how can this be, you don't have the mind to throw them away. One example normally, but it will be very old example, but even then it is a good example. You know, I have repeated it umpteen times, but it is better to remind it and remind ourselves. In those days you have got a card or 3 card. The card will be really very good. That is one of the Rubati card or paper, the card. And we will be keeping all the cards together. That is the wooden rafters. They come down towards the courtyard. There, in a small what is called iron rod, all the cards will be hooked and then they will be there. So we will take all the cards, unnecessary cards we will throw away. So Katara can't even make it, leave it. And Katara tiffin breakfast and the body to the card at the moving a belief of them, but here is the careless another not like all them sort of so remarkable. So the very natural Kana Padikumbode, all his life comes back, at least even life on the world. Appa life, Tata life, they will have historical value, they will have social value, they will have something to our family value. So every card becomes a natural. Finally, when he wanted to throw away everything, All the God he has tested them and kept them again, cleaned them. So, வீடு மாத்திரத்துக்காக குப்பையை தூக்கி எறியறதுன்றது போக குப்பையை தட்டி சேர்த்து வச்சிருந்ததுதான் மிச்சம். That's how it has come into. Now, what is the விடிமோச்சனம் of these cards? எப்படி இந்த கார்டு போகும்? அந்த காலத்துல பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்த வின்னோயிங் பாஸ்கெட் இருக்கு பாருங்க, மரத்தெல்லாம் வந்து ஓட்டை எங்கேயாவது மாட்டிடணும். அதுக்காக என்ன பண்ணணும்? பெஸ்ட் how to prepare them. பேப்பர் அரைச்சி முழுகிறது அப்படின்னு ஒரு இது உண்டு இல்லையா? அது முழுகிறதுக்கு என்ன ஆகும்னாக்க கார்டு தான் பெஸ்ட். அந்த ஆத்துல அந்த எதிர்க்கும் பாருங்க கலோரல் ருபரகல், அதுல வந்து that is a grinding stone. In the grinding stone all the cards will be put and then she will be what is called they will grind it and they will get a paste, and the paste will be when you apply it and then when you dry it the winnowing basket and all these things will become very good, very clean. Two people are not going to obey you at all. One is children, young children, they will not obey, they will have their own way, and the other one is servant way. Whatever she wants she will take. Oh, நிறைய கார்டு இருக்கு, முழுகணும், டக்குன்னு எடுப்போம், அரைப்போம், அதோட அது வெளி மோஷம் வந்துடும், finish. This is how the old things can be disposed of. நான் சொல்றது ஜோக்கா இருக்கலாம், this may be, but the thing is we are not mentally prepared to dispose of any of the things which we have. This will be useful. This has to be given to somebody. பழைய பேட்டா இருந்தா கூட என்ன பண்ணுவோம், எங்கேயாவது ஆர்ஃபனேஜ்ல கொண்டு போய் கொடுத்துட்டு வந்துடலாம். நல்ல பேண்ட், நிறைய விலை கொடுத்து வாங்கின பேண்ட், எவ்வளவு வாட்டி நம்ம போட்டுட்டு இருப்போம், இன்னும் எவ்வளவு நாள் தாங்கும்னு தெரியாது, அடுத்த வாட்டி கிழிஞ்சிருங்கிற லெவலில் நம்ம என்ன பண்ணுவோம், ஓகே we can give it to somebody. So that is we can give it to somebodyங்கிறது இருக்கே, it is the attitude which we have to consider. We are not prepared to part with it, still we think it is useful and we can make it useful to somebody like that. So there also we want this to be made use of. That attitude, everything is useful, everything is relevant, everything is required, nothing can be disposed of. அப்படிங்கிற attitude என்னது, it clutters our mind. So much of anitya, that is ephemeral things, they go on adding to us. அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும்போது நித்யா and anitya, the discrimination is not possible. That's why we find it very difficult not to move further. There are many attitudes, there are counter attitudes. The counter attitudes have to be taken into account. It can be, Vedas have given us like that what can be the counter attitude, how it can be developed. So now this counter attitude has got another problem also. See, normally we say karma. Karma is to be exhausted. Okay, prayaschitta. We can do prayaschitta. We can do prescribed prayaschitta. All the karmas are to be exhausted. What will you do prayaschitta? You can do prayaschitta for sins alone. For punya you cannot do prayaschitta. Because how can we do prayaschitta for punya? நான் புண்ணியம் பண்ணிட்டேன், அதனால இந்த புண்ணியத்துக்கு பிராயச்சித்தம் பண்ணி கழிச்சுக்கிறேன், நான் கழிச்சுக்க முடியும். Punya you have to experience. All papas, okay, you can have prayaschitta, you can exhaust the papas, but punyas, that's why even when we have, say, being good also is a disadvantages in the eyes of spirituality and philosophy, because good means you have to exhaust it, there is no shortcut. For papa there is a shortcut. You can do prayaschitta, you can what is called get away the sins, but for punya there is no shortcut. புண்ணியத்தை வந்து சீக்கிரமா கழிக்கிறதுக்காக நம்ம ஷார்ட்கட் பண்ண முடியாது, பிராயச்சித்தம் கிடையாது. ஸோ என்ன இருக்கு, that's why the Jalabarada story which is given in the Bhagavata, Vishnu Purana and other people, that is Nidaga, Jalabarada, Raghava, like that there are 3 or 4 people, they are jnanis, they have got knowledge, but still they cannot realize their moksha. Why they cannot realize their moksha? The reason being they are extremely and excessively good, and the very good nature itself made them very compassionate, and the compassionate characteristic forced them to be attached. So this sort of good characteristic also is like what is called not just a bondage, that is like a bulwark. So it is like an albatross around our, we do not know. The actual albatross we can know, it is around our neck. But the punya is an invisible albatross, hence we will not be able to know it, but it presses us down. So, how to know it? How to know the albatross? That's how the guidance of Sadgurus and people like that. If you look into message of Sadguru, you might have seen Sadguru guides her disciples not just by showing this is the way, in this particular way you have to go or you have to follow this, etc. She also tells us that how to exhaust our karma in an invisible way, in ways which we are not aware of, in ways which we cannot understand. She also points out that is exhaustion of karma. That is, exhaustion of karma means not only there is all sort of karma, all sort of that albatross. So, if we sincerely obey, then it becomes how we elevate ourselves. So, this sort of elevation, it happens without our knowledge, without our suffering, without difficulties, but in general ways. That is, in ways which are conducive, in ways which are definite, in ways which are uplifting. So, always we must have a guru to guide us, a guru to follow, guru not to follow, both guru to follow us so that we will not fall, and we are to follow the guru so that we will be going in proper ways. This is how we have to take it. So, this Nityanitya Vastu Viveka and Iha Mutrartha Parabhoga Viraga. That is, Viraga means giving up. Giving up of not all the attachments, slowly the accretions. And we should also develop some sort of characteristic of training our body. How to forward, how to move forward. If what is called pamper our body, if we pamper our body, then what will happen? Body will start demanding and dictating, and we will obey the body, and body will not follow our mind. So, Shama, Dama, Tidiksha, Uparati, etc. is training bodies. So, the words may be saying there are certain goals. The goals can be achieved by certain ways. So, the Sadhana Chatushtaya give you the ways how to follow it. But we just think of the ways and we find the ways difficult, hence we give them up. But actually, if you look into the goals, you can understand how important these goals are, how we have to follow them. So the goals is how to control the body, how to take the body along with us, and now how to pamper the body and not to be an object of the dictates and demands of the body. So that when you are like that, then you will be able to, say for example, this is not only for spirituality, this is for anything and everything. Sanskrit ஒரு அழகான ஸ்லோகம் உண்டு. பலருக்கு வித்யாதுராணாம் ந சுகம் ந நித்ரா. How people should conduct themselves. It says, if a person is really interested in learning and education, adura means adurana afflicted. So if a person is afflicted with education, that is, if he is so thirsty to knowledge, afflicted naka adhe or obsession. Anyone who is having education as an obsession, that is, I should learn like that. So anyone who is obsessed with knowledge, obsessed with education, getting the feeling I should be educated properly and proceed further, can he afford to have pleasure and sleep in his life? அவனுக்கு ராத்திரி நாளைக்கு படிச்சுன்னா ராத்திரி முழுக்க படிச்சுட்டு இருக்கணும், விடிகாத்தால எழுந்திருக்கணும். ஸ்லீப்புங்கிறது விடிகாத்தால தூங்குற தூக்கம் தான் தூக்கம் இல்லையா? விடிகாத்தால பையன் சொல்ல காலங்காலத்தால எழுந்தாதான் மைண்ட் ஃப்ரீயா இருக்கும், கிளியரா இருக்கும், படிச்சதெல்லாம் ஞாபகம் இருக்கும். So when you read in early morning, that will be clear and you will learn everything. So a student who is getting educated cannot afford to have whenever he likes to sleep. He must have bare minimum sleep. Bare minimum sleep is not the percentage WhatsApp sleep. That is, a body must have 8 hours of rest, etc. It is not like that. Wherever you don't feel tired, sleep only to that extent. So, na sukham na nidra. Vidyadurana na sukham na nidra. So now what he says, na nidra, you cannot afford to sleep. So here also, in the ordinary day-to-day, what is called the things, there is a beautiful Tamil verse also. Meivaru Tambara, Pasino Kantunja, Pasino Kar, that is, one who is Karmame Kannaina, one whose mind is there in complete work alone, he does not look into, this is one of the earlier Giri slokas, that is, a person who is interested in doing his work and completing it, Mei Vartham Para, such people, he does not say only one, such people who are interested in completing their work alone, Mei Vartham Para, they do not look into the physical torture or physical suffering. Kan Tunja, they are not worried about sleep also. Pasinoka, they are not worried about their hunger. Like that. So, it goes like that. Even such people, they are not worried about, they don't care about physical suffering and all those things. So, this sort of what is called keeping physical problems aside is there in every work, not in spirituality. That is insisted here, only that much. Samatama, etc. All these things are how to keep our body secondary to our mental goal. And the last one is Tivra Mumuksha. Mumuksha means we should be very clear about our goal, unswerving in the goal. Deviate, keep that mind. So these are the characteristics. So if these characteristics are there, then what happens? We have to understand what we are. It is not something getting anew, it is not a fresh status, it is not like getting qualified for a degree, undergraduate, postgraduate, doctorate, etc. It is not a fresh qualification, it is manifesting what is there already in us, realizing it, not getting anew. So now, to realize what we have to do, it is basically understanding. That is, we have to go on thinking about it, at one fine moment, we will know what it is. Say for example, in class when we teach, the teacher gives instruction, one time he gives an explanation. Some students are able to understand it. Other students say, sir, we are not able to follow. The teacher repeats it, second time, third time. Sometimes he changes the explanation. He gives different examples and the other students understand. Like that. Till all the students understand, the teacher has to repeat it. He is doing nothing. He does not do anything for the student to understand it. He repeats his explanations. This is called Ekasantagragi, Dvisantagragi. Ekasantagragi means the students who can take it in the first teaching. Dvisantagragi means the students who can take it in the second teaching. Trisantagragi means the students who can take it in the third teaching, like that. But there is no end to it. How many times you have to repeat it? There is no end to it. Avritti Rasata Tupadesha. Vyasa says in his Brahma Sutra, because it is to be understood, we have to realize ourselves, it is to be repeated as many times as they are required. So the story is, if you want to cut the stone, you have to go on breaking it. You have to go on what is called beating it with a hammer. So he has what is called the 19 blows he has given, nothing has happened. 20th blow, it has broken into two. Can we ask, can you give the 20th blow in the first itself? Why you just went on for giving 19 blows, took so many time, you will waste of time, and 20th blow you will say, we do not know what constitutes the 20th blow. 20th blow is followed by 19. Say some stones break in 15, some in 10. So, we do not know how many blows it requires. Only when it breaks, at the time you can say that this many blows have been required. Like that we have to go on repeating it. And now I said one example. That is, sometimes the teacher repeats, sometimes the teacher changes the methodology, or changes the example, or changes how he has to present it, like that. So the Upanishads also give in different ways. Say for example, if you look into the Taittiriya Upanishad, it just goes into yourself by tearing off the shell, what is called the external shells. So Panchakosa, the sheath are uncovered slowly. How to uncover it? It gives you. There are 5 kosas like Annamaya kosa, Pranamaya kosa, Manomaya kosa, Vijnanamaya kosa, Anandamaya kosa. There are 5 kosas, the 5 sheaths, and the 5 sheaths are one by one, they are uncovered. And then we must have that pakwa. If you don't have that pakwa, when these kosas are unsheathed, then what will happen? That will be one information. It will be information, it will not be knowledge and wisdom. So, the problem is, we have that, all the things we take as information, but we don't take them as knowledge and wisdom. So that's why what happens, the Shastra is, now two problems we have. One is, we have karma, there is all the past karma, and the past karma is not just our sins etc. to give us our, it makes our mind what we are. So the karma do not allow us total freedom because the minds become conditioned. So these two, how to get the condition, how to get our mind from its own condition, and the context is the karma useful to us. Say for example, now just look at the people who are working in quarry, stone quarry. Then they are doing the stones are what is called broken by some what is called explosives, and then they are what is called the crushers. Crushers, they are put into crushers, and then stones. These are all fresh stones. Fresh stones will be there. That will be what is called besmeared with all the what is called the dust. Not only that, they will be very sharp. They are what is called the lorry is filled up with them. Be unloaded, you will be having. And these people, night and day, they work. They don't have time for rest. So what will happen? They will be sleeping on the lorry or the stones itself. So when the lorry is moving, they will be sleeping on the lorry. Now you see, Panchak Mitavasana, when early morning. Now these people are sleeping on, moving on the highway, and you do not know what is called which way it will turn, how it will left or right, and how these people are sleeping, and they will be what is called conveniently, easily, nicely, enjoyably sleeping. What is called AC room, and they don't have the fear of what is called something to hold on. You can say it is habit, etc. But the question is, how it is attitude. That is, how you develop, how you find what is called enjoy certain things in the adverse circumstances also. So the karma, we need not blame karma because it is adverse karma. It has not given me. What we require is, this is why through and everybody says, karma cannot be overcome. Karma cannot be removed. Karma has to be exhausted. Karma has to become well. So on one side they say the karma can be overcome, on the other side they say karma cannot be overcome. So they are giving importance and power of karma also. They are giving importance of how karma is weak also. Now, what is this karma becoming weak and karma becoming strong? The karma giving us necessary pain and pleasure is powerful. That karma cannot be overcome. Karma gives us impression, the karma gives us knowledge, the karma gives us vasana that can be adjusted. So, the karma giving us pain and pleasure cannot be adjusted. But karma giving us impressions and karma giving us, preparing us, that is under our control. So, that is not totally under the control. It is under the control of karma, but God has given the freedom. That's what is known as freedom and fate and free will. The conflict between fate and free will, the fate gives you certain attitudes, fate prepares you in a particular way, but you have the free will to overcome that impressions created by fate. So that's what is known as Vidhi, Madhyal, Velalam and all those things. So now we have to develop that particular attitude. So once we develop that particular attitude, that becomes more important. Whatever may be the pain and pressure, whatever may be the situation, but this is how I have to take my life forward. This is how I have to make my work forward. So this free will, we have to make our life. So for example, this is where the help of Sadguru, that is, in making this free will strong, the making this free will work in our case, the grace of God, the grace of Sadguru played definite role. So I give you another example. Say normally we have the habit putting daily 1 rupee or something like that in a undial and taking it to of the family deities temple and putting that at the end of the So it is very, very, very heavy, very weighty. It cannot be carried on. And not only that, when he carries on so much of money, he attracts people who are around all of us. That is how to, what is called even all those things. So it is physically approach the Guru, they say, okay, you take it in a what is called 1,000 rupee note in your notebook, sorry, put it in your packet, then nobody knows that you have got that money with you. Nobody can know it also. And you also are not aware of the physical pain and the problems. So, traveling problem also is not there, carrying problem also is not there. But it is weight. It is not somebody carrying the responsibility. You carry your responsibility. But he does not what is called free you. He does not free you from the responsibility. You exhaust your karma. You experience your karma. But Guru helps you how to conveniently, easily, without yourself being aware of it. You undergo the trials, but without yourself being aware of it is beautiful, not the story. This is in the 8th chapter. Indra and Virochana, both of them go to Brahma, Prajapati, and Prajapati gives them instruction. Before giving the instruction, he said, I cannot give you instruction just like that. You have to what is called do the studentship under me and apprenticeship of 32 years. Apprenticeship is stipend வாங்கிட்டு சாப்பிட்டு ஜாலியாக சுத்திட்டு இருக்கிறதில்ல பிரம்மாவுக்கு வேஸ்ட் வச்சு பண்ணணும் ஸோ என்னது அவருக்கு சர்வ் பண்ணணும் ஸோ இந்திரா served for him. He served for about 32 years, both of them, and Brahma gave an instruction, and both of them felt they have understood it. That is what is Atma. They felt both of them have understood. But then, okay, the study is over, let us return. But while returning, Virochana was happy, I have understood everything. But Indra felt, is this even we normally seem to be aware of this instruction. Is this the instruction for which Brahma wanted me to do 32 years of studentship? And is this the instruction? Then he wanted, okay, whatever may be the instruction, let me confirm it. So he went, okay, if I want to confirm it and if I have to give fresh instruction, do another 32 more years of studentship. Okay. So second time Indra had it out again. He said, okay, another 32 years of studentship. And then he said, is this what you wanted to tell me? And then Brahma said, okay, this time you do only 5 years of studentship. And Veda says in that Samaveda, Chandogya 101 years Indra has served Brahma as a student. So Veda itself explains and eulogizes, oh, he was a student for 101 years. And Brahma gave him instruction and he became a Jnani. But now, what is this 101 years of studentship? There the Upanishad says, Indra already has performed 100 times of Ashwamedha Yaga, so his name is Shatamaka. One who performs 100 Ashwamedha Yaga alone can become Indra, so he has become. But now what happened? When he has said, there are certain kalpashas, stains, because even though it is the post of Indra, still there is attachment to the post for him. Still there is certain attachment. He is not totally detached. Because he felt, I am the person responsible for protecting this world. Like that. That sort of feelings was there. Now, if he has to understand that spiritual idea, even those attachments have to go, that stains or kalanka has to go, and Brahma, he was instructor, teacher for him. He was not God at the time. He was teacher, and serving the teacher for 101 years, he knows how many times he has to serve, what he has to do for removal of that kalanka. Finally he said, 5 years enough. So 32 years, 32, finally 5. Now, the type of work Guru can judge. So, by the way, by giving you the necessary amount of work, Guru will be able to exhaust your karma or help you to work your way over the karma. That is, get over it. So that is possible. And once that happens, then what happens? Your mind becomes free. When your mind becomes free, then whatever instruction it is given, say when the mind is free, there is no aggression, no attachment. So what happens? Automatically yourself manifests. So you know what is yourself. That's what in the Kenopanishad it says. From the beginning it says, always we think, because we do not have a very clear idea about ourselves, we are not aware of. This Swami Vivekananda very beautifully and very often says, you are the sons of immortal, you are not aware of it. You are not aware of your own power. You are not aware of your own strength. So now what happens? Can I be strong? Will I be such a knowledgeable? Will I be such a great person? How is it possible? I am after all a good for nothing fellow. How can I be omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent person? So we do not have that strong, not only conviction, will, etc. We are not able to believe exactly like Hanuman. Hanuman can, Hanuman has got natural power. Hanuman can cross the ocean. But Hanuman was under the impression, how can he cross the ocean and go to Sri Lanka to see Sita? So it was his problem. Then Jambavan reminded him. Remember, Jambavan has not given him any power. So Jambavan has not conferred a special power. Jambavan is son of Brahma, so he can confer power. But he has not conferred the power. He only reminded Hanuman who you are, how you are. So, slowly when it was reminded, whatever inner strength Hanuman had, he thought of and he realized and he regained those strength. So, it is regaining the strength. இதெல்லாம் சாப்பிட்டுட்டு ஏதாவது கடத்தையும் சாப்பிட்டுட்டு rejuvenate ஆகி ஃப்ரெஷ்ஷாக இருக்கு அந்த மாதிரி இல்லை. It is there already in him. It has to come out. He has one reminder. Here, who is Jambavan means one who is there from the beginning. Another Jambavan so he is there from the creation, not from this creation. He might have been existing in many creations before. That's why very old persons are called Jambavan. Clear? So, Guru, since he has realized his own self, he becomes Jambavan. Otherwise, he very old, because beautiful I mean Manikavasika. Munnai Paramaikum Perthuma Petriyan. He is the older of the old, newer of the new, and older of the old. That's why older of the old is the Jambavan. ரொம்ப simple. So when the Guru is such older of the old, hence he is able to see our old things. That is our past thing. And Krishna says to Arjuna, I know this. Bahuni me janma vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna. Both of us maybe have crossed many janmas. Tanyam Veda Sarvani. I know everything, that's why I am Jambavan, you are not a Jambavan. So the Jambavan is there for us, is required for us to remind ourselves. This Upanishad gives in the form of an auto-suggestion. How? This is what is called, you need not be afraid of. There is a power above you, there is a power around you. It is that power which is responsible for everything, and you are not something different. Say for example, the power around and all those things that cannot be seen, that cannot be known by everybody, but Yan Manasana Murute, Yenabur Manomatam, Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi, the last line becomes very important and it is repeated, Nedam Yedidam Upasate. Whatever you think as Brahman, that's not Brahman. Because you are pessimistic about yourself, you don't think yourself great, that's why you think something else as great and worship that great as the real great, but it is not so. It is only yourself. Yourself you see it outside and you don't understand, you see yourself outside. So you worship the outside as great. You think it as Brahma. Brahma means big, the biggest one. Brahman, the word Brahma comes from the Sanskrit root Brihu. Brihu means to grow, to be big. Briha, Brihi, Vriddau. Briha means Vriddau, the biggest growing. So, beyond which there is nothing. That which is the biggest, that which is everything, the omnipresent. So, that is called Brahma. And you think something else as omnipresent. There is a Bharati Krishna Tirthar, one of the father of Puri Sankaracharya. He has given this example, very simple example. That also I think I might have given you. So you take any language you can take. English let us take. we. How can we be made? How can they be made? He plus he is equal to they, or she plus she is equal to they, or he plus you, he plus I, whatever, it can become they. If you want to make you plural, you plus you, two yous can make one plural you. If you want to make first person plural we, it cannot be I plus I. There is only one I. There cannot be two I's. It may be ego, it may be capital I, it may be small I, whatever it may be. Finally, the I is only one. There is I alone can be I, and apart from me, even the God too cannot be I. God can either be you or he or something else for me, and God is all powerful, no doubt about it. He is omnipresent, everything. But how can he be something different? So, I alone is God, God in the sense, not in the physical sense of creation, word, etc., that in the sense of omnipresence. So, in the sense of omnipresence, I alone can be God, I alone can be omnipresent, I am the omnipresent, because when I happen to be omnipresent, at the time nothing else is there, so there is no need for me to exercise my power. That's why I don't exercise my power as God. There is no need. There cannot be, because only power comes, Ishvaraha. What is the meaning of the word Ishvaraha? Ish means to control. Only when there is something to be controlled, a controller is there. When there is no control, no need for controller. So in the same way. So when are the Nedam Yedidam Upasate. So you have to, that auto suggestion, we are that, what is called the all-pervasive, we are the consciousness, that's all. By the external consciousness, by some other consciousness, my mind does not work. My mind is not the what is called the objectifying that external consciousness. If at all my mind is working through that what is called not external, through that consciousness alone. Consciousness makes my mind work. Consciousness makes my eyes see. Na tatra chakshut gacchati. So na chakshusha et pasyati yena chakshumsi pasyati. So, what is called, I cannot see. The consciousness cannot be objectified by eyes. The consciousness cannot be objectified by ears. The consciousness cannot be objectified by all my sense organs. In fact, the sense organs work because of the consciousness. And don't think that what is called the sense organs objectify something, that object is great, and don't eulogize that object as something great. So, Nedam, Yedidam, Upasate, whatever you think as great cannot be. So, you have to think over your consciousness alone as I, that alone as all pervasive, that is everything. In this way, you have to develop it. It is further developed in the second chapter that we will see in the next class. Om Sudhismriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Shankaram Lokashankaram Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhanaktu Sahavidyam Karavavai Tejasvinavati Tamastu Mavit Vishavai Om Shanti 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 Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Prana Chakshu Srotramadho Balamindriyani Sarvani Sarvam Brahmo Varshadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakaroda Nirakaranamustu Nirakaranam me astu Tudat Nirate Upanishadharmaste me santu te me santu Om Shanti 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 Om
धर्मस्थापन गोविंदा धर्मविनाशन गोविंदा धर्मस्थापन धर्मविनाशन गोविंदा जगन्नाथे गोविंदा जगन्नाथे गोविंदा जगन्नाथे जगन्नाथे गोविंदा
Thank you.